2, 3, 1, 2.
Everyone, welcome back to Music with Ryan. Thank you for checking out the lesson here for All the Good Times Have Passed and Gone in the key of G. We're gonna start breaking down that first arrangement right now. We'll put the tabs on the screen, we'll bring the camera on in. If you want to access the full length version and download the complete tabs and the audio backing tracks, click the link in the description below. It will shoot you onto my website and you can learn how to get all the materials for this lesson. Also, be sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel so you know when new lessons like these come out. It's easy to do, just click the subscribe button down there. Let's go ahead and start breaking everything down. Thanks for watching. All right, so let's go ahead and start breaking down this first arrangement here for All the Good Times Have Passed and Gone. And keep in mind too that for this first arrangement, I was largely inspired from the David Rawlings and Gillian Welch recording, and I have taken the melody that they have sung. They do always very unique things, so I've derived this arrangement from the way that they had performed and sung the tune. And then the second time through, there's some more elements of the more traditional way it's sung by like Bill Monroe and such. But just so you know, I've just tweaked a few things in that first arrangement depending on how David Rawlings and Gillian Welch have sung the tune. So let's put those first four measures up on the screen there. And let me play them, then we'll break them on down. Of course, we are in 3/4 time signature, so kind of emphasis on beat 1 here. And of course, 3 beats of the measure. And I have a pickup on beat 3. So 1, 2... went on just a little bit there. So that first note's going to be on the 3rd fret of the B string, and I am going to use my first finger there because we are going to use this shape a lot throughout the arrangements. And it's, I call it the F shape here, but it's a G chord, so I'm going to be barring the 3rd on the high E, 3rd on the B, and 4 on the G. I'm sure you've seen this shape before. Again, some people call it kind of the F shape because it's kind of, that's the native position. But then it's movable, and I've got it here for the G chord, 3, 3, 4. So, and I'm gonna slide into that first note, so 1, and then pluck it again on measure 2, downbeat of measure 2, and then I'm gonna strum it. That's what the 3, 3, 4, 3, 3, 4. I'm gonna do a down up on that chord. So 1, 2. And then a 4/2 slide on the G string using the 2nd finger. And then next measure, I'm gonna just slide right back up into the 4th fret there. Whoop. And then strum again. So. And then pluck the 4th fret G again. And the next measure, measure 4, open G. I'm going to finger my C chord and strum, and then go to the 4th fret G. You see the little slide there as well. So if I put all 4 of those together, 1, 2. So my 2nd finger's doing a lot of the work here. Again, I'm getting into the 3rd fret B, and then I'm going to be barring right away. Make this chord shape, and 4/2 slide. And then I go right back up into the 4th fret, and then I strum. Pluck the 4th fret again of the G string, and then come off of everything. Open G, into the C chord, and then up to the 4th fret again with the 2nd finger. So one more time and we'll go on. So 1, 2. Okay, then going on the next 4. 1, 2, 3. And again, I went on to measure 9 just a little bit there. So measure 5, you know, we're still on the G chord here. Or we go back to the G chord, excuse me, and play the open G, and I strum the open G, so I'm back down in kind of the cowboy chord G position here. Open G, strum, open G. Very easy measure. And then I'm gonna slide back in to the G string, 4th fret, and get into that F shape. And I have 2 eighth notes here, so it's G on the 4th, B on the 3rd, so down, up, and then we strum the 3 strings, and then pluck the 3rd fret B again. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3, and going on, measure 7, pluck the 3rd fret B again, strum, 4th fret G, and then I'm gonna go down to the 2nd fret of the G string, and you can get down here a couple different ways with the fingering. Again, we're playing a slow tune, so we have a little bit of liberty with the fingerings and such. But you know, one way is just to slide on down with the 2nd finger, and then use the 3rd finger on the B string on the 3rd fret. So 1, 2, and that's, I'm just gonna strum this kind of partial D chord here. Again, just these 2. If you catch the open D in there as well, that's totally fine. 1, 2, and then 2nd on the D, 3rd on the D, and we will go to the 4th on the D and measure 9. But you could also finger it. You could just come down with the 1st finger on the G string there. Just make a little bit of a shift. So either way totally works here. I probably gravitate more to using the 2nd finger because I'm already on that string and I can get it to be a little bit more smooth. I'm totally comfortable of, you know, kind of using this style of fingering as well. So then 2nd on the D, 3rd on the D, and we'll go to the 4th on the D and get ready for this little D/F sharp here in the next measure. Let me put all 4 of those together. They sound like this. 2, ready, go. Let me put all the first 8 bars together. I'm gonna play through starting at the beginning, and again, just the first 8 bars here. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Okay, there it is. Let's move on here now to measures 9, 10, 11, and 12. We get to the D/F sharp, and this is one of my favorite chord shapes here. I'm sure if you've seen some of my lessons, you've heard me talk about it and use this before. But essentially, you've got the 4th fret on the D with the 3rd finger, 1st finger on the 2nd fret of the G, and then 2nd finger on the 3rd fret of the B. And you know, we have a partial D chord, and then this 3rd finger this is an F sharp, and thus we have an inversion, right? 1st inversion, and it just has a really thick, lush sound. And it's certainly something that's, you know, not that this is uncommon or just for Dave Rawlings, but he would use this all the time, and it just makes for, again, a really pretty sounding chord. So I'm gonna be using that there in measure 9. Measure 9 kind of ends the first phrase, and then we pick back up into the second half of this arrangement, right? So. Pretty simple stuff there, measures 11 and 12. Measure 9 might be the trickiest spot, just getting into this chord, because we came from 2nd fret, 3rd fret, and then measure 9, the downbeat, 4 on the D, quarter note there, and we're gonna come back and finger the rest of the chord and strum. And then I'm gonna shoot out of that position right away, slide back up into the 4th fret G, and get ready for this, again, this little F shape, G chord, sounding a G chord. Measure 10, 3rd fret on the B, then we strum, and then 5th fret on the B. 1, 2, 3, and then measure 11, I'm gonna come off of that chord, I'm gonna play the open G string, I'm gonna strum the G chord, and then slide up into the 4th fret G, and then measure 12 is 3 quarter notes, relatively simple, right? And I'm just gonna use my 2nd finger and just 2nd fret, open G, 4th fret G. Okay. 1, 2, 3, and then measure 13, open G. So let me put all 4 of those together here. You can see what it sounds like. But 1, 2, 3. And I did use my 1st finger there in measure 12 on the 2nd fret of the G. Again, we're playing really slow. We have some liberty with the fingering, so you can use that 1st finger or just use the 2nd finger the whole time to guide you. Either way is going to be totally fine here. Let me play those 4 one more time. So, ready, go. Okay, so there's the first 12 measures, and now let's move on to the last few when you're ready.